So before we start talking about our last topic, let's do some checking on our repo and the files we added to a repository and the GitHub repository connected to our local repo. So the last file we updated was lecture 1 lists, and then we have all these files that are in green. And as we mentioned before, when a file is represented with a green color on the Explorer part of the VS Code in our clone repository, means it's not being tracked. So we go to our source control again. As you can see, all these files are listed here, and if you remember, I mentioned that you have to apply the change or stage the changes first and then commit the change. So the commit is going to create a snapshot of the files and all whatever they contain in that specific time, so we can come back to that if we want to, or we can just track the changes and look at the log. So I'm going to stage these files. So I'm going to do them one by one, stage these changes, and basically I think I ended up doing them all. Then I can commit, and let's say added more files. There are actually suggested approaches to put the most meaningful comments when you're committing the changes, but I'm going to skip those practices for now. So I'll just simply put added more files, and then I press commit. Now this means that my local repository, if I go to my Explorer, my local repository is updated. So all the changes are kind of recorded, and I have a snapshot. And I want to show you quickly what does that mean when I talk about snapshots. So I'm going to come here, I'm going to create a new bash file, bash window, and I will do git log. Let me clean this, close this and make this a little bigger, and then let me quit and clear that. Then git log. As you can see, there are 3 entries, 3 snapshots. This is the first log I created. This is the date I basically started the repository, and the comment was initial commit. And then we did the second commit. We said covered lists, remember? And then this is the last commit, added more files. And each commit has the author, who made that commit, and then the date. And then this is the commit ID. Now you can get log, get a log one line to get the more abridged version, just the history and the commit ID. I won't get into how to go back to a specific commit ID and revert the changes in this video and in this lecture, but we will talk about it throughout the semester. So we are not done yet. So under source control, we commit the changes, but we didn't really sync our local repository with the online repo, right? So if I go to my online repo, if I refresh this page, you can see that if I go under Python programming, we only have lecture 1 lists, and you see if we look at the history there, which is the same as looking at the log. Here I only see covered lists, right? This is only just the last commit, so I'm still 1 commit behind. I only have the first 2 commits. So I'm going to go back to the repo. I will go back to my VS Code, and I click on sync changes, and I click OK. Now it's synced. So now if I go back quickly to my repo, and I refresh the page, now you can see all the files they created are there. So now our local Git repository is up to date, and the GitHub repo connected to our local GitHub Git folder or repo is synced or synced with each other.